The new moon on the 29th of June is at 7 degrees Cancer. And that means there's a bit of activity for anyone who's born towards the end of the month, but especially the cardinal signs, Cancer, Libra, Aries and Capricorn. You guys are going to find a bit of a throwback with this moon phase, dealing with unfinished business, going back to something familiar, or feeling that you're stuck in the past, wanting to break out. The moon loves to be in Cancer. It's her home sign. She feels emotionally safe, protected. She can bring her loved ones around her, and it brings in a time of nurturing, creating a safe little cozy nest. And that might mean a little nest egg of money, being in your pajamas all day, or having a well-stocked fridge. The thing about Cancer the crab is they move sideways. They don't approach directly. They're really comfortable moving with the tides. And so Cancer needs that constant motion of flowing in and flowing out. But if you get hooked by the Cancerian, those pincers don't let go. And Cancer has the reputation of having the memory of an elephant. They never forget. It's a water sign, looking for emotional connection. And that's why some of you might find you thrown back into the past. What's more, Lilith is here with the sun and moon. And this puts a really feisty edge on that emotional safety. You might find yourself getting very defensive or very protective. Some of you might find you have to leave the safety of a comfortable home. Lilith calls you into the wild to express yourself freely and that primal nature. So if you find you're being too mollycoddled, this moon phase is where you might be reacting. Lilith in this position also calls into account safety and equality in the family home. So it's not a leap to see that this might bring up issues of domestic violence, gender equality, parental leave, and violence against women. Lilith seeks justice where there's been disrespect. One of her key attributes is that she holds the knowledge that all people are created equal. She has an unstoppable urge to express that at all times, even through the forces of nature. Because Cancer is a water sign, we might see tidal surges or big storms coming up, something wild being unleashed. There's something that might shake up that cozy nest that Cancer likes to build. Have a look at the chart. Here's the sun, moon and Lilith. And this red line down to Jupiter is a square, meaning there's a blocked energy. You can see this other red line goes from Pluto over to Mars, more blocked energy. At the same time, we've got Saturn and Venus both providing positive strength and support and a little gift, like a way out or protection of some sort. Venus is sextile Jupiter and Saturn is sextile Mars. You can see this pattern actually creates that little nest that Cancer likes to have. It's called a bowl shape. There are no oppositions in this moon phase. And that means it's harder to resolve the issues that come up. They blindside you a bit. Here's Jupiter in Aries, being very warlike and direct. That's something that makes Cancer duck into its shell. Like I said, it likes to move sideways with the tides. Jupiter's natural way is expansion, but here it may be contraction, withdrawing, feeling you've got to go back into a safe place. And Venus is here to sweeten the deal. She's in Gemini, creating conversations about relationships and shared values, and wanting to come to an agreement with Jupiter about the best way forward. Venus also looks at your relationship to money, your relationship to yourself. She reflects your self-worth. What value have you put in that's not coming back your way? And now, despite this block or this contraction, Venus and Jupiter are giving you an opportunity to understand your true value, to be able to see yourself through the eyes of others. Mars is also in Aries. He's our god of war, super comfortable in the sign that he rules. Mars wants action and embraces competition. He's a catalyst, and whatever Mars touches, it spurs you forward. But this time, Mars is in a tricky place with Pluto. where the energy is blocked and it's hard to get momentum. Although Mars and Pluto are good buddies, Pluto has quite an overpowering, dominating effect on Mars in this position. It can turn the energy in on itself, or it means that Mars moving forward has to really dig deep into some old toxic shadows. The combination here is implosive and might have some of you seething and frustrated, bubbling under the surface, bristling. At the same time, Saturn is in Aquarius, and it's got a good thing going with Mars at the moment. Saturn provides a support and structure. It gives you protection. When Saturn and Mars are at odds, the boundaries are blown open and you're left in dangerous territory. But here the support is coming through. This might mean there's regulation or new laws, a new sense of responsibility, or whatever restriction that's coming up between Pluto and Mars has some sort of consequence that needs holding in. These two groups of Jupiter and Mars are putting controls and measures in place. Timely action can get reward. Having self-control and restraint opens up an opportunity to really stand true with your values, to define them. Our overall theme here is one of contracting and going back into your shell. On a personal level, this means really taking care of what you love and giving self-care. Allow the truth to find its own measure and surface when it's ready. The bucket shape of this chart is looking for a way out. And we have Uranus to the rescue, always providing a little bit of unpredictability, a jolt to the routine, and a search for a future. And in this case, upsetting the comfort zone so that you can find a new way. Uranus has been joined by the North Node, and this has a sense of pulling you forward. The North Node is an energy that pulls you to it, that opens you and opens up a place where you can expand and grow. It's acting like a carrot on an end of a stick at the moment, pulling you out from a way of life or something you thought was always going to be there and into new territory. The South Node is in Scorpio, opposite, and this is the only opposition we've got in this moon phase. Even then, the South Node isn't a planet. Symbolically, the South Node is a place you've come from. It's a place that's familiar. It may even be past lives and karma. It's something you've done before, and you tend not to grow in this place, whereas over here, the North Node, you're always reaching forward. The South Node gives a handle to this bucket. And Cancer, who loves to hold on to the past with those big nippers, is throwing us back to reassess something that's been before or already passed. These two have a 19-year cycle, and that's why you might be looking at what happened around about 9.5 years ago, when these points were reversed. Scorpios born around the middle of the month could find that they're looking at a really big change, a surprise offer or opportunity, something that you'd been working on suddenly getting illumination or a breakthrough, or doing something that's quite radical to where you thought you were going to be. With Uranus providing that lightning flash, there's a sense that you can't go back. You have to learn from the past and leave it behind. On the world stage, we could see this about the use of renewable energy. There's been a real shift that we can't keep pulling energy out from the deep places of the earth. And these two are providing like sudden action on that. In Australia, we've got a new government and a new focus. All the climate change deniers have been voted out in the last election, and there's a majority population move towards sustainability and renewable energy. At the full moon in Sag 2 weeks ago, Neptune was putting a blurry vision on everything, whipping the veil back, dissolving illusion. The big thing to come out of that 2 weeks has been the Jan 6 committee investigating the insurrection in America. The great lie that the election was stolen is being step by step unveiled, dissolved. In true Neptune style, the committee has been using video and photography and imagery to put together a whole picture. That's very Neptunian. That Neptune square is really digging behind the split between belief and truth. It remains to be seen if the truth is enough in this case to rebuild those foundations of democracy. At the last moon, we also had Venus conjunct Uranus, and shares and stocks plunged all around the world. The value of cryptocurrencies took a real hit, along with rising prices and inflation. The North Node on Uranus during this moon phase is looking at solutions to those problems, and it really needs to be a different path forward, the way we look at commodities and what is sustainable. That's also a Cancerian issue, finding security with what you have. The Cancer new moon is calling you home to what is real, what's meaningful, what nurtures you, what provides you love and protection, and allowing yourself to run with the tide so that there's an even flow. I'm Merryl Key, and this is my mystery school. Like, follow, share and subscribe. If you'd like to learn tarot or find out more, contact me through my website www.merrylkey.com. Blessed be.